I haven't broadcasted in a while, so I thought I'd come on for a short stream on my way home. So it's beautiful out. Last I checked, it's the low 70s here in northeastern Ohio. Make sure this car doesn't turn at this intersection here. So if you guys have joined, go ahead and shout yourself out. Let me know who you are and where you're from, where you're watching from, and what platform you're watching from as well. If they're on Haps, or they're on Twitter or YouTube. Let me keep the camera facing forward for now, so I can point of view mode, I guess. So like I said, hopefully everybody's doing well. But I thought I'd share something quite exciting. And it's just what the title says. Hopefully I'm keeping the camera as steady as I possibly can here. Sorry about that. But just as the title says, at the beginning of the title, that I tried to keep it as short as I possibly could. Because what I should have said is a former coworker, because as of right now, this person is a former coworker. But I just said coworker in the description box. That's okay. But like I said, just as the title says, coworker of mine has been inching her way along ever so slightly. And now it's time for her. I'm very proud and very excited to announce that my coworker, or former coworker, I should say, is about to go to the United States Air Force BMT. For those of you who don't know what BMT is is short for training. So they call it, in the Air Force, they call it basic military training. Okay. So, guys, if you want, you can call it boot camp. I don't like calling it boot camp. That's what a lot of people refer to it as. That's just my take on it. The reason why I say that is because boot camp, to me, signifies that it's a walk in a park, and it's definitely not a walk in the park. Not by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. But today was supposed to be the last day for my coworker. And it ended up being, I think it was this past Tuesday, was her actual last day. And that wasn't just by chance. That was actually planned in advance. And a lot of our teammates at my work didn't really understand that. So I don't know if they're jealous or they're not too happy or too fond about that. Not that we're missing a coworker today. Wasn't like that at all. Just that they, in my humble opinion, I think they lack the understanding of what the process and what it takes and the amount of effort is needed to join the United States military, regardless of what branch it is. She still has a lot of work to do. I'm not sure of specifics. That's really none of my business, because I'm not really involved in her joining or anything. I'm just proud to know that she's going in. So I have really no affiliation with her joining or anything. there was a moment that she had, which is kind of normal. Actually, let me back up for a second. When somebody signs papers to go into the United States military, usually a couple things that happen. A lot of the official processes with your recruiter happens. I went through it myself. And it's a lot of work involved, lots and lots of work. And one of those processes involves you yourself, if you were the ones that would join. And it's a part of a process called DEP, or Delayed Entry Program, which is a long process. That's what I was referring to earlier in the broadcast. We'll pan the camera this way because we got somebody. Edward, thank you for subscribing. Nice to meet you. Welcome aboard. Talking about my coworker, former coworker. But anyways, the DEP, or Delayed Entry Program, is a highly involved process, and it takes time. Not like a certain amount of time, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer. For her, it did. It took a few months, even longer than what was planned, and that was by choice. That was because of her the MOS that she chose, and I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what MOS she actually did choose. But she said months ago that she was supposed to go in, I think it was April. She was supposed to go to BMT in April, and she didn't change MOSs, but the MOS that she wanted wasn't available. I think it's how it turned out. So her basic training got pushed back a little bit, which is fairly common. Nothing unusual, nothing bad about that. But as I was saying, like, the stuff that she has to do is highly involved, and whatever that she has to do, she'll do with her recruiter. And at least one more time, going to MEPS. For those of you who don't know what MEPS is an acronym for Military Entrance Processing Station, is what that stands for. She'll go to the Cleveland MEPS, same MEPS I went through. And I'm highly confident she'll pass that with flying colors. And one of the reasons why I'm highly confident is not only because she's in shape, healthy, young 18-year-old future airman, but both her parents served in the military as well. So she knows what she's getting herself into. And which is really cool because she knows a few things that there's a car to my left. I think it's a neighbor. So sorry for the distraction. But what's really cool is she knows a few things. We're gonna walk around here. We'll just go ahead and walk around. That way we're not broadcasting people that don't need to be on camera. But anyways, since her parents served in the past, she knows a few things that I'm not sure exactly what, but she knows things that other recruits may not know. I don't know what other recruits do or do not know. But she's highly advanced. Like she already knows her facing movements. She knows her positions of attention, parade rest, at ease, things like that. The basics of saluting. And that's basically what it comes down to, because regardless of what branch, when you're in basic training, it boils down to one thing, folks, is that's probably one of the most difficult things to get somebody else to do. And that's why it's so tough. Is what happens is the hardest thing to get at least a civilian to understand is to listen. Is to pay attention and listen. So I'm highly confident she'll do just fine. She'll probably be a flight lead, which, from what I understand, is an equivalent of like a platoon leader in the Air Force, I believe. So she'll do just fine. She'll do awesome. I think they reduced their BMT a little bit. She was saying that she only has to go through 7.5 weeks of training, which is really cool because Army's 9 weeks plus reception, with a total of 10 weeks, almost 10 weeks, a week 0. So she only has 7.5 weeks to endure, plus her technical training. So that's what a lot of her coworkers right now don't understand, because I was joking around, like, are you going to miss her? And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, well, just wait a couple months and sit there and you're going to wonder where the hell she is. So, but I told her, I made it abundantly clear. I'm like, okay, make sure you have somebody to call when you get there, because that's what happens. Is the first thing a recruit does is they have you call somebody. It's highly scripted. You have to say, like, word for word off of memory, or maybe you might be lucky enough to write it down. And it's just enough where you call somebody to answer, and you tell them that you're wherever you are and you're being taken care of and you're safe, and you hang up the phone. And it's that quick. It is that quick. It's what I had to do. I'm not sure her process, because she might get lucky. They might let her use the phones before they go to what they like to call, actually don't like to call it, actually is called, what's called an amnesty, if I'm pronouncing that right, the amnesty room. The amnesty room, let's go over here. We're just kind of walking around, having fun. The amnesty room is anything that you're either not supposed to have, or can't have, or shouldn't have, not allowed to have, etc., 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 that you take to training, that you cannot or are not allowed to have during training. One of those items, obviously, is your cell phone. You're required to bring your cell phone if you have one, but it's not like you're going to have it during training. So, there's certain things that you can have, and certain things you can't have. So that's usually up to the branch and up to your chain of command. That's how it works. So I told one of my coworkers that I was working today, I'll show her another coworker. I'll show actually a couple of them. We're gonna have some downtime tomorrow. Show them. I said, okay, this is what our former coworker is gonna go through. So this is what you guys don't have to endure. So, but I was gonna do a rant that has absolutely nothing to do with sharing that wonderful news. kind of ran out of time here, so I wanted to be short. But tell you what, since I decided not to share this rant because I don't know how long it'll take me to share this rant. I'll come on back on tomorrow and I'll show you. It'll be easier to show you all exactly what I'm referring to and what I'm actually talking about. Because this is something that this is kind of crazy going on in my shopping center that's kind of weird. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So my apologies. So I know that's in the title, but oh well. So gonna go ahead and hang up down. You guys have a good night. Thank you for being here. And for those of you watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. Appreciate you all. And you folks take care, all right? See you guys tomorrow.